last time Stacey Abrams ran for governor of Georgia, her personal finances were a mess, but she insisted just because she was hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt because of student loans, credit card debt, and back taxes, it shouldn't be held against her. Still, she lost the race. And now, less than 4 years later, her fortunes have changed big time. Abrams just disclosed that she's worth more than $3 million. Brett, it does seem to happen this way when you run for political office or enter political life. You do end up making more money. However, I would note this is much different in that she's not in public office. She did this on her own time as a private citizen.
Sure. I think there's two pieces of hypocrisy here. One is that she got a lot of the success by refusing to concede the governor's race back in 2018, and then obviously Democrats lambast any, Trump Republican that brings up concerns about elections, and, she spent a lot of time making success off of that. However, on the flip side, there is hypocrisy that Republicans can't lambast somebody for success, giving speeches and writing books and making $5 million in this amount of time, and then turn around and say, you can't tax, those folks at exorbitant amounts. You can't do this. You can't hurt success. So she's doing it the American way. It's just that she's done it on a platform of refusing to concede, at least at the beginning.
Yeah, Emily, I think that's a great point.
Yeah, that's exactly, for example, what the Federalist Society has argued in an article that they published, where they said the reason that she's all of a sudden made $6 million within 4 years of being $400,000 in debt is because it's centered on this sort of bogus concept that she has turned into a celebrity status thing. So now she's a speaker and she's an author. This huge body of work she's created has been posited on the fact that she called that election tainted and that it was resulted in the disinvestment and disenfranchisement of thousands of voters. So essentially, because she has cried election fraud, that has all of a sudden turned her into this figurehead worth millions. But the whole point is that it's based on a false premise.
And look, by all means, I am all for it. Go to the private sector, make as much money as you can. This is the American dream. That's capitalism. My problem, however, falls with this flashback to what Heritage Action pointed out. Jessica Anderson, they said this last week. This is flashback to the MLB All-Star Game. We'll all remember this. Last week, it was reported that Stacey Abrams' Political Action Committee, Fair Fight, has earned over $100 million since her defeat in Georgia's 2018 gubernatorial race, more than any other 2022 candidate. Coincidentally, Georgians lost $100 million when the MLB moved their All-Star Game from Georgia to Colorado after Abrams compared a new Georgia law to Jim Crow. Stacey Abrams should send the $100 million her PAC has pocketed to protect the people of Georgia.
Wow.
Well, look, what's really interesting about that and troubling is the fact that she missed it on so many accounts. Like, those were mostly black-owned businesses that got crushed by the MLB going to Colorado. You never heard her speak on that. You did see her sort of clean up on aisle 5 with, well, maybe, after the boycott that she called for, well, maybe that wasn't the right thing to do. Well, it was too late then. And by the way, she was wrong on another account. It turned out that Colorado's election laws were much stricter than those in Georgia. So she booted the All-Star Game and let it take all of its millions. What was it, $100 million? Let it take that $100 million to another state, to another city in Colorado. And then nothing was replenished in her own home state in Georgia. I don't know if, her PAC writes a check to the citizens for everything they lost, because I think that $100 million falls short. Some of those businesses didn't survive. Yeah. So you can't repay people for something that's not there. Their business isn't in business anymore. I don't know the exact number of that, but I do know the neighborhoods in which this happened. Lives, the landscape of lives were changed. And I would love to hear her speak on that. And as you look at the books and the speeches that are lined up for her, I don't see that as a topic, but maybe there is more that she could do to help those private businesses and neighborhoods that she harmed with her rhetoric, whether she meant it or not.
Yes, and those business owners, Kennedy, trying to make their way, just like Stacey Abrams with her book writing and her speaking.
Yes, and her sloganeering, which, can be incredibly hurtful, especially to mom and pop shops. But I do not begrudge her private wealth. I do agree that taxation is theft, and I don't think she should be overtaxed for that. I do think there is some hypocrisy here. But you think she made a lot of money when she lost the governorship last time. Just wait till she loses again. She's going to have so much money, she's going to buy Amazon.
Brett, last word to you.
Well, I think it's going to be a fascinating race down there. Remember, we have a Republican primary in Georgia between former Senator David Perdue and current Governor Brian Kemp. That's going to be a barn burner.
Yeah.
So Stacey Abrams is hoping that goes to the final finish line, and both guys are bloodied, so that she can take advantage.
Yeah, a lot of May gubernatorial primaries. We are waiting with bated breath. They will be interesting to watch.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.